Thank you for listening to Shulchanaruchharav.com.
The order when Tisha B'av falls on Shabbos and is pushed off to Sunday. So in such years there are a number of halachic details that are different than a normal Tisha B'av, a normal Erev Tisha B'av, and a normal Shabbos, which we will now go through in a summarized version. For further details and sources, everyone can refer to our article in the website or into the corresponding sefer of the 3 weeks that we published. On Erev Shabbos, there are absolutely no extra restrictions, and all of the halachas of the 9 days apply equally without any other stringencies. On Shabbos, regarding the menu, one eats and drinks on Shabbos meat and wine without restriction up until sunset, and therefore this year there is no concept of a Seudas HaMafsekes. We do not eat boiled eggs for the sake of mourning. We do not dip the bread in ashes, chas v'shalom, not on Erev Shabbos, not on Shabbos. It is not done this year at all, and hopefully never done again. So whether the first, the second, or the third meal right before Shkia, you can eat, as the Shulchan Aruch writes, like the feast of Shlomo HaMelech, with meat, fish, and wine to your heart's desire. Leather shoes may be worn and are to be worn this Shabbos, as is now let us show Avelis on Shabbos. Regarding bathing, so the restrictions of bathing that apply on Tisha B'av do not apply on this Shabbos, although some poskim are stringent not to allow bathing in hot water, even minority of the body, so you shouldn't go to a hot mikveh according to this opinion, while others are accustomed not to bathe at all. Nonetheless, from the letter of the law, just like every Shabbos, the halacha is that if you feel very hot, you're allowed to take a cold shower. So too this Shabbos as well, even though it's Tisha B'av, the idea and restriction of bathing is pushed off. Nonetheless, some are accustomed to be stringent, as we mentioned. Regarding intimacy, marital relations, it is forbidden this Shabbos for Ashkenazim, and forbidden for all Klal Yisrael starting on Motzei Shabbos-Sunday. Sfardim, many are lenient regarding marital relations this Shabbos, and others are stringent. Every Sfardi is to follow their Rav, their custom. The one exception if it's the night of mikveh, in which case it's permitted for everyone. Regarding if our chakas should be followed, so definitely according to Ashkenazi custom, one should not sleep in the same bed as his wife this Shabbos, and affectionate touch is to be avoided, but the other hachakas do not have to be kept, although some are stringent to do so. This halacha applies likewise on Tisha B'av itself. Hachakas do not have to be kept, although some are stringent to do so, but one is not to sleep in the same bed or have affectionate touch. Learning Torah this Shabbos. There are a variety of opinions regarding if you're allowed to learn Torah the Shabbos after Chatzos, and some even say you can't say Pirkei Avos after Mincha because of that reason. And practically, it is best to be stringent to finish all your Torah sessions before midday, Chitas, Rambam, etc., and after midday to limit your Torah learning to those subjects that are permitted to be studied on Tisha B'av itself. However, those who are lenient have upon whom to rely, especially if you're making up an unfinished set Torah session of Chitas, Rambam, etc. Tehillim may be said after Chatzos, and so to Shnai Mikra may be said after Chatzos of Shabbos. Regarding mourners who say Mishnayos after Mincha of Shabbos, so the regular Mishnayos may be said, over some say that you should recite the Mishnayos of Mayit Katan. This Shabbos, Sfardim and Ashkenazim, all Jewry, are not to engage in pleasure walks, as is always the halacha in Erev Tisha B'av, and it applies likewise Shabbos Erev Tisha B'av, and therefore we don't take strolls this Shabbos. We say Avarachamim before Musaf. Mincha is a regular Mincha davening, with exception that we skip Tzidkasacha, and we daven Mincha earlier than usual to make time for the last meal, the third meal, Shalosh Udis, which is in essence the Seudas HaMafsekes, the Suda that will satiate us for the 24-hour fast. As we mentioned, it is debated if you're allowed to say Pirkei Avos after Mincha, and the final custom is that we don't say it after Mincha, and we continue only the next week, but if you want, you could say it before Chatzos. And once again, those who do want to say it even after Mincha have upon what to rely. Shalosh Udis, there are no restrictions to this meal in terms of the menu. You can eat whatever you want, meat, wine, etc. You have to stop eating prior to sunset. You don't have to bench prior to sunset, but you have to stop eating prior to sunset, and then you can bench afterwards, including Mayim Achreinim. As the Mishnah Berurah writes, it is a mitzvah to publicize this matter that once sunset arrives, you may no longer eat and drink even though it's Shabbos. You are allowed to eat together with other people, such as your family, although regarding inviting guests, or having community meal, this should be avoided if it's not normally done every single Shabbos. It is permitted to make a zimun of Birchas Hamazon of the final Shabbos meal, even though generally by the Sudas of Tisha B'av we avoid doing so. Those who are taking easy fast vitamins and pills for the sake of alleviating the difficulty of fasting may do so on Shabbos as well, especially if they take it with enough time for it to begin activating on Shabbos itself. All the bathing and anointing restrictions begin by sunset, so once in sunset we no longer wash or bathe our bodies, even the pinky. When is one to switch his shoes from leather shoes to non-leather shoes? This can only be done when Shabbos is over, 3 stars are out. You say Baruch HaMavda ben Kodesh L'chel, and you switch your leather shoes to regular Tisha B'av shoes or slippers. Men are to avoid doing malacha until after Ma'ariv, and therefore if their shul is making a break and they're home between Mincha and Ma'ariv and they're going home from Ma'ariv later, they should avoid doing malacha unless the malacha is involving a mitzvah, such as driving to shul for the minyan. Regarding switching Shabbos clothing, we discussed as a previous halacha that it is subject to custom. Some do and some don't, and each community is to abide by their minhag. Regarding Havdalah, there is no set Havdalah over wine on Motzei Shabbos, because it's Tisha B'av and you can't drink the wine. The custom is to push it off until after Tisha B'av, which is Sunday night, in which one recites Havdalah after the fast before eating and drinking, as we will momentarily explain. However, on the night of Motzei Shabbos, even though we don't say Havdalah, we do say the bracha of Ma'ir Ha'esh over fire. This is recited even by women, and it is to be recited after Shemana Esrei of Ma'ariv before Eicha. So all synagogues should prepare a Havdalah candle to be lit before Eicha is read and have it available for the congregation to recite the bracha of Ma'ir Ha'esh. It's advised that also in the women's section, women should bring a Havdalah candle for this purpose. Those who are not attending shul are to say the bracha Ma'ir Ha'esh on their own in their homes, especially also for children. It is to be said on their behalf at home. There is no blessing of Besamim on this Motzei Shabbos, being that it is Tisha B'av and it is also not made up the next night. Those who are allowed to not fast or are chayiv not to fast due to illness, pregnancy, nursing, etc., they have to recite Havdalah before eating, and their Havdalah would consist of simply the bracha of Shahakal or Agafen, meaning skipping Hine Kel Yeshuasi, and then going straight to the bracha of Havdalah of Hamavda ben Kodesh L'chel, if they already did Ma'ir Ha'esh, and if not, they only say Ma'ir Ha'esh and then go to Hamavda ben Kodesh L'chel. It's debated whether wine can be used or grape juice, or one should use tea or coffee. It's also debated if children should make Havdalah before they eat on Tisha B'av, or if they can wait to be Yetze with their father or mother the following night after Tisha B'av is over, and this is the leaning custom. After Ma'ariv Motzei Tisha B'av of Motzei Shabbos, one remembers to recite Atachon Tanu. After Eicha and Kinnis, we begin from Ata Kadesh. We omit the verses of Vayhinayim and Yeshav V'Seiser Elyon that are normally said. We do not recite V'yitin L'cha after davening, and we also do not greet each other with a good vach and the like, as is normally done on a Motzei Shabbos. Sunday night, Motzei Tisha B'av. Before eating and drinking anything, we recite Havdalah, either over wine or over a shahakal beverage. We omit Besamim and Ha'esh in Havdalah, so we say it like a regular Havdalah said on a Motzei Yantif, starting from Hine Kel Yeshuasi, and afterwards one may eat and drink to his content. Morning customs that still apply after Tisha B'av, so normally many of the 9-day customs continue to apply until midday of the day after Tisha B'av. This year, since the day after Tisha B'av is already the 11th of Av, therefore all the minhagim of Avelis kept during the 9 weeks are over with Motzei Tisha B'av, so you can launder your clothing, haircuts, wearing, bathing, music, etc., with exception to eating meat and wine and poultry, which extends as well throughout the night until the morning of Monday. Likewise, some right to avoid marital relations also this night, although this is not required from the letter of the law. May we all merit that the Shabbos spirit that we're going to be having this Tisha B'av, where we're in actuality celebrating Tisha B'av, the date of the 9th of Av, arouse divine mercy that so it should be for us each and every year, this same celebration with the coming of Mashiach Tzidkeinu.
Thank you for listening to Shulchanaruchharav.com. Our free services of making Torah knowledge available to the public depends on donors like you. Please help us continue our work through making even a small contribution at Shulchanaruchharav.com under the Daily Halacha Dedication section or in the subscription page. Also, check out our online courses and many sefarim available for purchase that will both enhance your Torah knowledge and help support our work.